Alright, so I am going to prepare a little astrodoodle here, and we will do that, get set up for the hangout this evening. Let me just do some more homework. See if I do. Let's try that. Let's see. Those typos. I'm doing all sorts of typo weird things. Okay. P3. Let's try that. Now, why is the computer struggling? I don't know. That's very strange. Maybe it's just the way. Maybe it's just me. Let's have a look. Maybe not. That's better. Okay, so we're making a little bit of progress here. I'm going to fill in the chart for the day, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So settle in. If there's anyone else here, check in, say hi to each other. Let's see who shows up and see how things go. Okay, thank you so much. have a look here. Alright. Oh, that's awesome. The chat is working tonight. Hello, good evening. Hold on. Let's have a look. So, a few folks have showed up. Hi. Hello, Necessary. I see that. Okay. Hello, Necessary. I see that. Yeah, and Karen over there in sunny, summery New Zealand. It was you. You bought them, Karen. Thank you so much. Wow. Representing New Zealand on my PayPal. Ah, got it. Okay, thank you. You know, Melanie McCall, I still owe her one. Where is she? Haven't been here in weeks. I know she's probably very busy with had the eclipses and everything. We're heading up to the next eclipse. I'm just going to put her here anyway, just in case. I'm going to put her up to the side, just in case she decides to show up. How am I going to do this? I'll just pop it over there. All right, Necessary Truth. Let's see. Thank you very much for the kind donation. You will get your mini reading. Voila! The first magic. I can probably handle 3 readings tonight, maybe 4 if we're lucky. I don't know how it's going to go. If it's a very quiet evening, we'll just keep it as a quiet evening. Wait a minute, there's something wrong here. No, that's good. Let's have a look. Alright, well, I'll just put this over here for a moment while we finish the doodles. Let's see, Karen over there in New Zealand, thank you. Maria, hello. I hope things are good with you. I know you had some very turbulent times recently. Path, good evening. I know you've been dealing with visuals issues recently. Oh, okay, Maria, I've got you. I see what you're saying. Da, da, da. All right, Maria, let's put Maria on. She's going to do it through the Tarot Lumination PayPal site. Thank you very much. Okay. It's wonderful. Yeah, thank God for this PayPal thing. I don't know what I'd do. Hold on, let's have a look. Put that over there. I'll put this over here for now. Let's have a look. Good evening, Mr. Ross. Tuck that over here. Let's have a look at the ephemeris. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, you did one as well, Mr. Ross? Okay, well, hello. All right, so I'll put that there. I don't know if I can take any more, so let's just see how it goes. Why am I sneezing? I took my allergy pill today. Sometimes I get really sneezy here in Las Vegas. It's weird. All right. Thanks. I'm glad you're all checking in with each other. I'm glad you like your leggings, Maria. Let's, I don't have a pair with me right now. Otherwise, I'd show them off. Let me just click on scroll here. Okay, all right. So here we are. I'll check in with you guys. Give me a second. Ah, there we are. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to visit. It's just a few of us hanging out. Thank you for the support all these years. Okay, Necessary, I got it. Maria, I got it. Gregory, I got it. Okay? It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Beautiful. So here we are yet again. The world keeps turning. Never stops, right? Well, in about 4 billion years it's going to stop because it's going to get eaten up by the sun when the sun goes supernova. But we don't have to worry about that because humanity will already be completely vaporized by that time anyway. literally. So if you got any long-term plans, you might want to like shorten them up a bit. Think about the next couple of centuries, and you'll be all right. You know, you and your legacy, your loved ones, the spawn of your loins, the new humans, whatever they're going to be called. Bigger brains, skinnier bodies, more bizarre physiques, more weird genetics that have been modified by very weird numbers of people who insist on trying to control and manipulate the earth. All they lust after is power and control and money in this lifetime. They seem to be completely unaware of everything that's above and beyond the lifetime that we exist right now. Everything that exists right now is so much profoundly bigger than what our senses can tell us. But oh look, Melanie McCall. Finally you're here, because I owe you one from weeks ago. But I'll accept the donation anyway. Cheers. And good evening, Path. I said that. I said hello to Path over there. Let me get my little map out. You know, I love doing these things. So, over there we have, let's see, now I can't remember where Melanie is exactly, but I know Path Traveler's over here in Kentucky. I know Necessary is up there, kind of around the New York, Long Island, Brooklyn area. Mr. Ross could be, because he's a traveling man. Santa Fe, maybe Mississippi, maybe Maine, New Hampshire, maybe Rhode Island, maybe Cape Cod. Who knows? He's a rover. My question, TL, is advice for Nikki. Oh, we can do that. Don't you worry, necessarily. We can get some advice for Nikki. We'll sort that out. Like sands through the hourglass. Yes, Mr. Ross. And Maria is over here in Arkansas. And let's see. Where was that? Hold on. Karen, of course, way over here. Now, of course, in New Zealand, it is now summertime, as we're heading into winter here in the United States on Sunday evening. Karen is already heading into summer. She lives right there, very close to the T in Wellington. There we go. Let's see who shows up tonight. We might get somebody from Argentina. We might get somebody from Europe. There's a lot of people in Europe who can't show up because I haven't done a lot of shows that are really conducive with the European time zone. So it's a little bit frustrating. I know there's a few people over there who love to do the live ones, but it means I have to change my schedule too. So I just haven't done that yet. Anyway, that's it. No more readings tonight. We're full up. I can't take any more. Let's have a look. I already made your post-it here, Melanie, okay? Because I've been waiting for about a month. Okay, here it is. So let's put this over here. Let's pile these all up like so, like so, like so. Something like that, okay? Doopy-doopy-doo. All right, let's have a look. All right, let's have a look. 256 Country Club Road. What's that? Hold on. Venus in retrograde. Cappy is my Venus, kind of getting some interesting aspects of it but any advice or open guidance on what to watch out for would be awesome. Of course, necessary truth. Let's have a look. I'm just going to put the markers aside for now because I don't think we're going to need them anymore for tonight's Astro Doodle. All right, here we are in. I need to go over here to the stage a minute. Hold on, let me just check that chat here. Mr. Ross is in the SIP, Mississippi, MISSISSIPPI. Where at, Gregory? Batesville Country. Oh my gosh, the Lord of the Manor. Wow. Well, we'll find out what happens, okay? Maybe you'll tell us what's going on, Mr. Ross. Okay. Necessaries over there, New York. Yep. All right, okay. So, December is coming up very soon, and some people are already getting worried about Venus retrograde. Okay, we got a bit of time, but, you know, why not worry if you can? Okay, this is November, and as you can see, we're way, way over here. We're very much at the tippy end of November. Way, way over here at the tippy end. We've still got Uranus retrograde and Neptune retrograde, but we're right at the cusp because I just flipped the page and kapoof! Neptune is direct. Look at that. Okay, the planet of universal love, the planet of, let's say, compassion, sacrifice, kindness, be above and beyond duty. And of course the shadow side, which is, you know, crime, deception, lies, betrayal, self-destruction, disease of all kinds, and so on and so on. It's going direct. So this is Neptune over here. It's been retrograde for some time, so now it's going to be stationary. So it's going to hover for a while in this position here. So my feeling is what's going to happen, especially when we have the eclipse coming up here, the new moon Sagittarius eclipse coming up right here in Sagittarius, it's going to start to square off with Neptune again. And so things are going to get very, very tricky when it comes to global communications about what's real and what's not real. The agenda that we've been dealing with for so long now, several years I would say, well, at least a year and a half with this Gemini Sagittarius axis and the stewardship of Donald and the changeover of stewardship over to Mr. What's that expression? Let's go Brandon. So Brandon. So the way I feel is that we're all like pawns in a bizarre game. There are these weird people. Okay, I'm just going to do a little Lumination doodle. This is population, a little graph of population. And elite at the top and common at the bottom. And it's one of those population demographic curves. And it looks like this. Population of, let's say, what is it? 7.4 billion people. That's from here to here. Okay? And in the middle, the median, over here, there's a population of about 75,000 people. Those 75,000 people are what I call these. Okay? And interestingly enough, the curve kind of looks like, oh no, let me see if I can illustrate this properly. Yeah. Population dynamics. It basically looks like this. This is how the population is dispersed. And so this is like 0.0, I think that's 0.01% of humanity. I can't remember the math exactly. I might have a decimal point wrong here. But 75,000 people out of 7.4 billion is just a tiny number of people. And those people at the very, very, very top, that's still a lot of people, 75,000 people. Have you seen that? What that looks like? That looks like a huge soccer stadium over in Liverpool in England with about 60, 70,000 people in the crowd. Imagine a completely packed stadium about 70,000 people, absolutely jam-packed to the walls. That would be these folks here, ELITES. And they basically own and control the world. The things that they are interested in is money, as you know, control, as you know, and power, as you know. And so they have that. They already have that. They're just playing with it like a game, like a computer game up here at the very, very top. And there's the rest of us down here, 7.4 billion. And there's about 750,000 people in here who are basically the folks who execute the wishes of these elites over here. So it's a very, very, very distorted kind of population. But this is a world, this is the world that we live in right now. And these folks are starting to realize that their positions of money and power and control are in severe jeopardy. So what they are doing is that they are supercharging all their strategies and methods to maintain and hold and take money, power, and control from here. Because these folks up here live off of these folks down here. They do this through the global financial system. I call it debt farming. And that's what they do. And that's just how it is. And for them to take it to the next level, they have to basically blow up everything that we know as it exists today and start from scratch. Because there's too many people who figured out in here, and a few of them in here, their game. They figured out their game and how it works. They figured out the optical illusion, the financial illusion, the chaos, and the deception and the lies, the betrayal and the theft, all represented over here, and soon to be exposed even more when we get to the eclipse over here. And what's happening is their world is coming unraveled, slowly but surely. And as we exit the era of Pluto in Capricorn, and as we enter the era of Pluto in Aquarius, this is going to become an extremely unstable situation. These folks are being undermined by we the people, because like Love Triber says, we the people are the solution. Okay? It's a little awkward. And so there's a movement happening across planet Earth right now where there's a lot of people in here, at least 1 billion I would say, and a lot of people in here who are starting to realize they don't like this or trust it or believe any of this anymore. And so they're creating an alternative world. I'm exploring that, and mostly it's to do with global finance. So I'm going to make a video about that and share that with everybody soon, and I'll give you my perspectives. If it's worth anything to you, we can follow up on it. I'm just going to give to you what I know because it's an inevitability as far as I'm concerned. Just so that you understand, I am one of these people over here. I'm over here. All of us here, we're all down in here somewhere. Everyone who comes to this show. I don't really know anybody in this world. I certainly don't know anybody in this world. And if I did, then I would be in that world. And if I didn't like it anymore, they would make sure that I was disappeared. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. So let's get back to the Astrodoodle for today. Cheers. I want to say, okay, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you some perspective the way I see it. Because I have a very bizarre, like, alternative world up here where I'm very, very active in the dreamscape. And I've had a lot of what I guess you could say psycho-spiritual adventures, which leave me with a very indelible impression that there is a lot more going on over here than meets the eye. That's how I look at it. A lot more. So, here, cheers by the way. So, let me go back over here again, sorry. I'm bouncing around. So, there's something happening in the astrology right now, which is happening on a global scale, which has never really occurred in human history before. And it's simply because of a random timing issue. Human beings have got to the point where we are all interconnected across planet Earth. All of us. If I wanted to, or if somebody wanted to, they could contact me. I'm over here in Las Vegas, okay? They could contact me from a previous message like Sarah Al-Sheikhi, she's over here in Benghazi. She could contact me directly if she wanted to. Sometimes I get a note from Karen over there in New Zealand, okay? I've done readings for people over here in Indonesia and Australia, South America, Central America, South Africa, all lots of different parts of Europe and Eastern Europe, and even a few folks in Canada. There you go. So that covers a very broad spectrum. Now, as you know, it's not a very big channel. It's kind of like, let's say, it's on a muzzle. But anyway, that was not possible, 50, 70, 100 years ago. Today, we just take it for granted that you can talk, like if Karen Clark wanted to, she could contact me on her smartphone, point the camera at her face, and I can chat with her face to face, real time, okay? And it's the same thing that happens in the global financial world. Right now, today, the whole of planet Earth is completely and utterly connected financially. But it's heavily distorted because the way it works, it's designed by these people to feed these people. This tiny number of people, they live their lives by feeding on us. We, the people down here, we are being farmed, okay? We are being farmed on a debt farm, and they are basically milking us like debt cows. And that gets funneled up through here to here. And they are obsessively maniacal about growing this business model and making it even more insanely distorted than ever before. But the problem is, they're starting to realize that we, the people, and a bunch of the folks in the middle are saying, you know what, this is just not acceptable. We need to flip it over. We need to flip it around so that it actually works like this, where we, the people, have our money and our power and control in our own custody, in our own lives, so that we have a life of sovereignty, where we are fully individuated, okay? This is a big problem for these people, okay? But it's happening. We are at the very early stages of this model collapsing as this one comes into being. And that's going to happen over the next 25 years or so as we go through Pluto in Aquarius and then eventually into Pluto in Pisces. It's going to be a very different world. I'll be gone by then, but some of you might still be around. Anyway, I just wanted to share that perspective. So, some of you know, I've had lots of notes and messages and conversations with people who just lived through the big eclipse. When was it? Last week, when the moon was in Taurus and the sun was in Scorpio. I know for myself, it was a really profound eclipse. And everybody I know personally, or 1 degree of separation from personally, also had an extremely profound eclipse in whatever way it was, financial, but a lot of it to do with health and survival. It's like the eclipse took people to the limit of their ability to survive, testing their will to live. Taurus being very earthbound and solid and connected to earth, and then Scorpio being very far away on the other side to do with basically what lies behind the veil here. The scary, scary stuff that a lot of people can't understand and don't want to. Things like death. Things like crossing over from this life to the next life. I know something that's sort of to do with the Pisces energy here, but with Scorpio it's very intense. Scorpio is very much about birth, procreation, death. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And so a lot of people that I encountered became very, very close to the awareness that, wow, it really is that simple. We're born, we live, and then we die. Sometimes we procreate. Sometimes we're born, we live, we make new humans, and then we die. But anyway, it was very, very intense. We're coming out of that now. We're heading into a totally new vibe with the Sagittarius new moon eclipse, which is going to be touching on the very end of the Gemini North Node journey. It's one last beacon of light regarding truth and honesty in global communications before we slip into the North Node in Taurus. So anyway, it's happening. Everything's basically as it should be. Why is that so? It can't be any other way. But if you look at this chart, do you see that on compared to what we've been dealing with and the way I make my astrodoodles, there's very little red stuff here. There's just a couple of little lines, okay. And this is, again, this is sacred geometry. It's just like a ticking clock. It just goes forever and ever and ever and ever. But just at this very moment in time, there's an intense degree of harmony between the planets and the way they line up and gravitate with each other. And I don't know about you, but I am feeling this as a moment of rare and delicious luxury. I'm not banking on it for the future. I'm just accepting that this is what it is. We have a beautiful trine between Virgo and Pluto. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to put this over here. Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Okay, just to be clear. Okay, so we got this beautiful trine. Again, it's very fleeting between Moon and Pluto. Beautiful, stabilizing, earthy trine in a very powerful sextile with Mars in Scorpio. So this is extremely stabilizing and very comforting. This sort of greenish triangle here. Can you see this? That's sacred geometry that's very rich and harmonious. So you might be sensing a certain kind of reprise in your life where there's a little bit of relief somewhere. You're getting a glimpse of, I don't know, maybe calmness or happiness or stability or something. Now there's a secondary one over here. There's the Sagittarius, okay, let's just do it this way. There's like overlaps, okay? Sagittarius, Aries, Aquarius over here. Sorry, then there's another one, Scorpio, Capricorn, Pisces. It's like, sorry, I kind of screwed this up a little bit, but it's like there's two like trine sextile patterns stuffed in here. So again, this one is very stabilizing and this one is very stabilizing. And it's very fleeting because the stability is related to the Moon, Mars, and Mercury, and they move very quickly, okay? And Venus, and they move quickly, okay? So this isn't going to last, but please enjoy it while you can. So if you are, just think of it as weather, if you are at a point in your life where if you're at a point in your life where we had the eclipses and you've been dealing with this and that with your health, your finances, your relationships, and everything culminated to this big sort of zip popping moment around the eclipse, and then there's the afterglow of the eclipse and things start to calm. We're heading towards the Sagittarius new moon eclipse. which is a totally different vibe. But in the meantime, we're heading that way, and it just happens to be going through astrologically what I would look at as good weather. So we might as well take advantage of it. Just like look around you, enjoy your world, try to focus on the positive, and take a snapshot and understand that it is possible to feel happy now and again. Feel good. Yeah. All sorts of good. I personally feel it. For me, this is normal. So if I see a lot of red, typically I feel it. If I see a lot of green, I feel it. So typically there's a lot of mixture of everything, and it's all happening simultaneously. But today is exceptional. We have a huge amount of harmonious energy with the trines and the sextiles, okay? So might as well enjoy it. Focus, take a snapshot of your life and tune into the attitude of gratitude and just kind of go, you know what? Wow. I survived hell. I just survived hell, and now look at me. I'm still here. And actually, I've just had a glimpse of like what it's like to be here when things are harmonious. Some people think, like, wouldn't it be amazing if this was just locked in forever and we always had a permanent, astrological imprint? Well, guess what? That actually happens. Like, if there's a newborn babe right now, at this moment in time, anywhere on earth, any newborn babes at this moment in time, give or take a few hours, a day or so, well, literally a spread of about 12 hours, give or take, that little newborn infant will have that massive trine sextile pattern built into their chart somewhere. Where it lies on the horizon with the ascendant, that's a whole different story. But the basic planetary structure, the sacred geometry of the solar system will be imprinted on that infant. Who knows what that will turn out like for that infant? Maybe they'll have like a little charmed life or something. I don't know. The only thing you can do is observe. Anyway, I'm going to go back over here. Thank you. So there's that. Anyway, I just wanted to say, let's enjoy the sweet moment while we can. I know from intercommunications that a lot of you have had an extremely bumpy ride over the last few months, myself included. But hey, things move on. Now, Necessary, before I forget, Necessary said something about, a little bit concerned about, let me see if I can find it in the chat here, but she was concerned about messages for Nikki, and it was something to do with, oh man. I've lost it, but she was concerned a little bit about Venus going retrograde, but there's plenty of time to worry about that. We'll just do a reading anyway, okay? All right, so here we are in very, very tippy end of November, okay? And as soon as we flip into December, Neptune will have flipped into direct motion. Now, as you know, Neptune is very far away and very, very slow moving. So when Neptune goes from retrograde to direct, we're talking about weeks, if not months, as the energy settles again back to where Neptune would be if it just whizzed around all the time. So, heads up everybody. As Neptune starts to go direct, it's going to highlight the Sagittarius-Gemini axis a little tiny bit over here to do with deception, betrayal, and lies. And fraud, sickness, disease, and all the chaos that's happening across Earth that is essentially by design from these folks up here Depending on your point of view, my particular point of view is some of the disgusting stuff that's happening on planet Earth right now is totally engineered and manufactured by these folks up here for the benefit of these folks up here by destroying whatever they have to down here to rebuild it so they can get the new supermodel that works for them up here. Sadly, their plan is not working anywhere near as well as they were hoping it would work. So they're having to use ludicrous amounts of deception, betrayal, and lies, and disease, and manipulation of media, and the biosphere to try and execute their business model so that they can continue to have power, control, and money. It's not working very well. And you're going to start to see that more and more in the news as more and more people, especially across planet Earth, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's more and more people across planet Earth who are starting to realize we're getting scammed. We're getting completely scammed. That's why some people in the early days called it a scam. Oh no! It's manufactured, folks. All right. So anyway, let's leave it like this. Let's move on with the readings. That's what we're here for. And go from there. All right. Let's do this over here. So first up. So we'll probably be referring to this later as we go through the readings. Necessary truths. Now, you mentioned something about Venus, but if you want to, what we can do is just basically find out what messages do we have here this evening for... There's nothing. Okay, I see something there. There's nothing. Venus retrograde in Cappy. There's nothing to be scared of necessary. Okay, nothing to be scared of. Venus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn would indicate a person who enjoys stability, common sense, integrity, reliability, honesty. It's like someone who's turned on by good, wholesome stuff, you know? Venus in Capricorn responds to the things that I mentioned, like integrity, responsibility, long-term commitments. Venus in Capricorn would also be turned on by things like, you know, opportunity for potential success, for money, for long-term potential of what works in life, you know, in a relationship, having a good, healthy, stable, working relationship, loving dynamic. Some people, all they want is sparklers and kaboom and fireworks. Some people are very different. Some people, all they want is stability. Some people, they want just a mechanism. They want like a gravy train. They want a meal ticket. Everything's different for everybody. But anyway, don't be scared about Venus in Capricorn going retrograde. Let me just pop back over here for a second. We're not there yet anyway, so don't worry about it. Venus in Capricorn, okay? Over here, here's Venus, okay? In Sagittarius. Just flip to Capricorn over here. So we're already deep into it. Most of the way through. We get almost all the way through, and then it turns retrograde. So it's a good time. What'll happen with Venus in Capricorn, Venus retrograde in Capricorn, it'll give you a really good opportunity. It'll be a really good opportunity to recalibrate, reevaluate, reassess your relationship, your relationships, you know, with work, lovers, partners, friends and family, all those things, your relationship with the world, your relationship with yourself, through the lens of Capricorn, and figure out what's not working. It's a really good opportunity to discover through self-diagnosis, through observation, action, reaction, what is not working. That's how I would look at it. Not to be scared of it. Not to be scared at all. Calling in John. Calling in John. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Calling in John. Oh God, I feel sneezy again. I've had a lot of sneezes later today. Excuse me. I tell you, it's highly unpredictable. Here in Las Vegas, the air is just very weird. That's all I can tell you. Hello, Robin. I see you driving, so just listen. Yeah, don't do any... Yeah, Robin, just concentrate on the driving. Thank you. All right, cards are shuffled in advance, but I go again personally in front of you live so that you're a witness, okay? No big deal. Let's bless these cards, bless every single card in the deck, bless the designer, the artist, the original artist being the Rider-Waite team, and then I can't remember the name of the artists themselves, but they are very time-tested over many, many decades. And of course, tarot goes back a lot longer than that, but from my perspective, the gold standard for today is the Rider-Waite Tarot, from which most others are derived. And luckily and wonderfully, there are a lot of beautiful artistic reinterpretations, and this is one of them. Excuse me, my nose has gone berserk. Sorry, I'm going to have to... Oh, man. What's happening to me? Calling in John. Okay, so what messages do we have here tonight for Necessary Truth regarding Nikki? Especially because she's concerned about Venus in Capricorn retrograde towards the end of next month. Of course, you might feel it before then. As you build up to the moment of stationary retrograde, that's when you would feel the pressure, okay? So we're looking at the second week of December, basically right through the holiday period, okay? That's when you might feel it. So it might feel uncomfortable, but anything that feels uncomfortable is an indication. Like you look at it on the, like when you're driving a car, it's like looking at any kind of check engine lights that come on. If you're getting an alert for like bam, 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 for this person or that situation or that relationship dynamic, and there's some kind of feeling inside your body which would translate into a check engine light coming on, then please pay attention, because that's very valuable information. That's what we will be looking for, and that would be your compass to tell you where do we need to pay attention now going through the Venus retrograde period, basically into next year, 2022, so that instead of becoming, let's say, I don't know, and like a unwitting victim of the retrograde, you can actually take advantage of it. Okay? Okay, no problem. We got it. Hello, Jalen. I see you on the chat. My eyes got drawn over to the chat. I have a whole monitor system over here. Okay, and then there's the computer systems over here, and there's cameras around here. But anyway, hello, Jailin. Thank you for popping in. I'm not taking any more readings tonight. We're doing Necessary Truth, then Maria, then Melanie, then Gregory. That's all I can handle. Thank you very much for your kindness and your generosity. Okay? Anything else, you can book a private session, or you can come out and hang out next week. Who knows, maybe I'll do something in the week, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, yes. John and Chris. You're very, very, very lucky. Necessary Truth. And you know it. And also, they're very proud to be there for you, by the way. They love being there for you, with you. Both of them. And actually, they kind of like sparring off of each other as well, too. It's fun. It's like sport for them. Okay, here we go. So what are the messages that we have for Necessary Truth tonight regarding the retrograde coming up in about 3 weeks? And the buildup is already starting to happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even asked for it. All right, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the pervasive energy. Of course, as you know, I'm going to default to the stars and the planets. Well, not the stars, because I don't really do much with the fixed stars because I'm not an expert, so I don't bother. But there's an awful lot of stuff that happens with the fixed stars, but again, I just deal with the basic planets, okay? Okay, so surrounding energies, environmental influences, let's have a look here. We got the Six of Swords. To me, this indicates like this is a really good divine opportunity to move on in peace. To take with you only that which is truly valuable, that stands up to your scrutiny, anything that stands up to your version of the truth, your concepts about reality, honesty, perception, what's real, what's not real, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable in love and relationships, okay? It's just like dump everything and anyone that does not work. This is a great opportunity for cleaning house. It's a great opportunity for, it's like, what's that expression? You know, spring cleaning. How else can I say it? It happens in relationships. It happens in finance. It happens in every aspect of astrology. So when we're looking at this, for you, Necessary Truth, with the Six of Swords there, to me it looks like this is a tremendous opportunity to look at your life through the lens of relationships, anything and everyone, and put them through that filter. And imagine you're doing a spring cleaning. You just look at everything. You go like, wow, I haven't connected with them in months. I love them. They're very valuable. We need to set up a connection again. Look over there. Wow. I don't want anything to do with them anymore. I don't even think they like me anymore. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That needs to go. So it's like doing a huge spring cleaning of life, love, and relationships, especially relationships, where you look at everything like a big closet. You know, people do that with their houses, with their garages. They do a spring cleanup. They open it up and you just filter through everything, and some things are covered in cobwebs, some things are totally redundant and obsolete, and people just hold on to them for sentimental reasons, and there's no purpose or value anymore. With this situation coming up, so this is going to take a couple of months, okay? During the next few months, whenever you feel that energy that I just described, it's a great time to just go through the closet. It's like here, going through my bookshelves, going through all my knowledge and wisdom and everything, and just take a big trash bag or big can or big bin, and think of it in relationships. Anything and everything that is obsolete, redundant, doesn't make any sense, it's already history. And it was wonderful for what it was when it was, but it has no relevance for now. The healing power of now, that's what counts. So what counts right now? So, okay, let's go back to the reading because I've already done, I feel like I've done 90% of the reading already. God. All right, so again, great opportunity. A huge opportunity with the Venus retrograde in Capricorn to seriously clean house. jettison anything and everyone that's not working for you, with you. If you still need certain people, relationships, in order for yourself to endure for learning purposes, don't throw them away. Okay, you have to be very, very, very careful, just like you do when you're doing a massive cleanup campaign. You might want to throw that one away, then you think, no, I'll put that in the maybe pile. And then this one over here, that has to go. So you can split it up however you like, but eventually it all comes down to literally getting rid of anything and everything that you can that is no longer functional, viable, relevant. Ditch it, move on, because the only thing that counts right now is what is relevant for now, which is what's going into your future. Here's the situation. Okay, so with the Two of Wands, to me it looks like you're in a planning phase. It looks like perhaps this Venus retrograde coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks, as you build up to it, you might start to feel like this is a really good opportunity to completely recalibrate my life again. So these two cards here work very closely together in a very harmonious way, and I would say that's partly simply because of what this very, very short term period of beautiful energy that we're in right now in terms of sacred geometry, astrological weather. It's like an indication, like, wow, I see what you're talking about, TL. Hey, you know what? Yeah, completely clean house. And guess what? The situation is that's what you wanted to do anyway, because that's what you have to do in order to start and plan new beginnings, new starts, new beginnings, charting out a whole new trajectory in life, especially when it comes to relationships. And it might feel chaotic. You know, there might be periods over these next, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks where it might feel very chaotic as you go through the filtering process. You might cling on very, very strongly to something that you thought was working or could work or is very valuable, and then you realize, no, it's not. It's totally screwed. And you have to do sometimes you have to make these very sad, tragic decisions. Literally just, I have to dump that. It has to go. Because going forward, all you need is what you can carry with you, like in your pockets. You know? I'm not going to go into that in great depth here. That's a much heavier situation. But with the Two of Wands, the situation is about like, wow, I really need to start planning my new future, including relationships, especially if your future is contingent upon relationships. Not everybody's future is contingent on relationships, but if your future, you know, like work relationships, romantic, family, all of that stuff, put it all through these filters here. And do that again. Filter and filter it and filter it and filter it. Sometimes you have to repeat the process multiple times, like 6 times. You take a sieve, you take a filter, you pour everything through. Oh, I pulled out. Like I had to do a lot of filtering today and yesterday with all the food and cooking over here that I was doing in order to prepare some beautiful ingredients. But I had to do things like pulling out some bones and pulling out certain things that really I can't do anything with it. But they already served their purpose and it was just wonderful. So you just keep filtering and then you dump all that and you filter it again, pull out some stuff, dump all that, filter it again, pull out some stuff, and then you eventually get to where you need to be. All right, now what's the problem here? Okay, so with the Star in this position, you might feel desperate. You might feel like, okay, that's great, Terra Illumination. Thank you very much for all that optimistic perspective over here. Thank you for all the green ink and the green shiny Kitty's marker pens on the things. But the reality is, like, deep down, part of me is just desperate, okay? Desperate, because it's just like, is there really any hope? Is there really any truth to any of this? Is Terra Illumination just a massive fraud, an optical illusion? Is Terra Illumination just pulling everybody's legs and telling them all this gobbledygook nonsense to try and cheer them up? when in reality there is no hope at all. You know, this is the energy of being guided and being protected, and the energy of hope. And hope is the energy of believing in something when there's no evidence. You know, you just keep going anyway. I understand the energy of hope extremely well, but with this card in this position, you might feel really challenged, like, oh my God, you might be on the brink of hopelessness. Like, no matter how much planning you do, no matter how much you want to recalibrate and rebuild your life, no matter how much you want to clean out the closet and, you know, basically get rid of anyone and anything that's not working so that you can, there's this expression I like, reduce and simplify. Reduce and simplify so that you can carry on. You might feel deep down in a very kind of tragic way that it's hopeless. It's not even worth trying. What's the point in even bothering? Okay? Well, you have to, in a way, I mean, it sounds awful. Okay? Necessary truth. It sounds awful for me to say this, but this is such a huge contrast to this. This is a very optimistic, proactive type of energy here. But deep down inside, to me, it feels like there's a part of you which is extremely super hypersensitive and protective about your deepest core inner self, because you, as you know, because you are a remote viewer, because you're a psychic medium, and you're hypersensitive to all of those things. You're hypersensitive to anything and everything that's great and everything and anything that's horrible. So you might be absolutely terrified of what happens if things go wrong. Well, that's understandable. On the other hand, you've got to keep going, you know? So when I see the star card here, it's just like, yeah, maybe in terms of three-dimensional logic and life experiences, you might have every reason to give up hope and feel that things are hopeless for you, and like, what's the point? All that's ever going to happen is I'm just going to be living with like mediocrity and disappointment and failure and losses, and that's just how it's going to be, and you just go to bed crying every night. Okay? That's fear. Okay? Remember, that's fear. It's like false evidence appearing real, and this might feel so real because this is your deepest fear coming out. So how are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay. Well, it's almost like you're going to have a fight with yourself. You're going to have to tune into your, let's say, your natural will to live, your natural will to survive, your natural passion, your natural gifts, your natural talents, your natural raw, like hormones, humanity to be necessary truth. Okay, I'm just getting a bit of a flash here from Chris and John. Okay, what Chris and John are doing is like they're right here, one of them's here, one of them's here, and they're kind of doing this like, oh yeah, well, go necessary, high five, and they're doing a high five with each other like, and the idea and the message is that they're like tapping me on the shoulder like, tell her, she needs to know this. She needs to know this. It's not over. The show is not over. Life is not over. There's a reason okay, thanks, Chris. Thank you, John. Let's get back. So, okay. So, I just wanted, that was a brief like interlude there. Life is not over, okay, necessary. What's happening is if you look at it as a gateway, since you're focusing so closely on the Venus retrograde in Capricorn, think of it as a portal. You're going into the retrograde period. You're going to do what you have to do. Clean house, clean closet, just clean it out. Make plans. What am I going to do now? How am I going to do that? No matter how scary it is, because as you start to clean house, you might realize, oh my God, there's nothing left. I just jettisoned almost everything. Oh my God, I'm so miserable. I'm so lonely. But you have to keep going anyway. With the Page of Wands, this is, to me, this is very extremely vital, youthful energy about the will to live. I was talking today with Love Triber, and perhaps I think it was even Path Traveler, about the will to live. I can't remember the details, but it's an understanding that, you're at the very early stages of the next chapter of your life. And the way that unfolds is through a deep commitment to the will to live, okay? Where you commit all your energy into the healing power of now, and then you go forward from there by committing all that energy, all the energy of your vital core self, even with the innocence of the Page of Wands. It's on the understanding that, okay, let's look at it this way. The way to handle it is like you go forward anyway. You just take note of this reading. Understand that you still have Chris and John. They're not going to let you down, but you're going through this thing. It seems like you're really scared of it, but it's actually a really good opportunity for you to reconfigure, reconstruct, especially love and relationships. And that might be a very painful thing for you deep down inside, and you might be terrified that it's just like, it's hopeless. What's the point in even trying? But you have to do it anyway. Because that's what happens with the will to live. There are certain people, not everybody is born with it, okay? There are certain people who are born with incredible gifts, but they do not have the will to live. And it's just something knocks them, and they're gone. There are some people who are born with incredible hardship, like despicable disabilities, but they have the will to live, and they come shining through. They might be crippled in a wheelchair, but they're happy because they have the will to live. They basically look at their life and they go, you know what, fuck you, I'm still here, I'm going to keep going anyway. Ha! I'm not dead yet. You can't take me down, okay? So I have an idea. Okay? I do this for myself every now and again, okay? Necessary? You can do it on YouTube or some kind of music stream or something. There's a song called I Get Knocked Down. Or another way to call it is Tub Thumping. And the band is called Chumbawamba. And it's a song. It's a very, very British song, because the British are very, very good at this stuff. The British are very good at coming back from being nearly dead, because they've had so many people attack them for thousands of years. But they're still here. It's like, fuck you! You cannot take me down! You cannot take me down! I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to take me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to take me down. Never. Right? That's the kind of chorus line theme from that song. So I would recommend, as your homework after your reading, is to go and listen to that song. What I do is I jump around and I play it very, very loud, and I pretend I'm a rock star on a stage, and I have to sing the lyrics like karaoke. And it's revitalizing. The lyrics in the verse don't mean much. It's kind of like gobbledygook nonsense. But the chorus is what it's all about, okay? Yeah. I hope this helps. Believe me, okay, Necessary Truth, the show is not over. You're going through this chapter. You got to deal with it, and you will. Okay? Also, God willing, I'll still be here. And if we need to do another reading or another tune-up over the next few months, we'll do that. No big deal. All right? Thank you very much. That's your reading. Next up, Maria. Woo! Thank you, Chris. Thank you, John. Wow. Oh, Love Triber's here. Hello, Love Triber. Hello. Hello. All right, Maria, you're up. I need another sip. Oh dear, this is looking very, very empty. Damn. I'm going to have to switch beverages. Hold on. Oh, you know that song, Path. Oh, man. Love Triber has seen TL dance to that song. Oh my God. The truth is coming out, people. Not everybody knows the song. And I don't know too much about the band, but they are a very British pop band. They sing in English. Okay? I've loved that song for a long time. Never really understood it, but it's just the feel. You know, it's just the feel. Maria wants a blind reading. Perfect. I love doing those. Thank you, Maria. I love doing the blind readings. Thank you so much. It's like a gift. Thank you so much. Okay, all right, we're going to keep shuffling for a while. Just keep shuffling. If I could, I'd play the song to you on the channel, but they'd shut down the show. Or they'd take away, if I made any money off the show, they would take the money away. So there's no point in playing it. You know, silly. Alright, I'm going to have to take a little red pill because my nose is really, really freaking itching. Oh gosh. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, where is it? Stay there, people. I have to take this pill because I'm itching like crazy. I can't keep sniffing and whatever. I've never had such a situation. Okay, this is water, good old-fashioned water. This is the pill. It's an antihistamine, very basic. I'm hoping one is enough. Sometimes I have to take two. And I already had my antihistamine stuff for today. You never know what it's like here. Some days it's really crazy. I'm not used to it. What's this? What are these notes here? There is. Hold on. I want to see these notes on the chat. It says necessary truth. There is nothing stronger than the will to live. 127 hours. Tell so many to watch that movie. It will change your life. I have no idea. I've never heard of it before. I'm going to write that down. What is that the title of the movie? 127 hours? Okay, so I'm just going to make a note of that, okay? I don't know. It's a movie, okay? It's okay, necessary truth. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just going to keep shuffling. So there is an actual movie called 127 Hours. Okay. Well, I'm going to see if I can get that from the library here. Or maybe online or something. I'm very interested. All right, Maria. So it's your reading now. And we're going to do completely blind reading. I love those. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit more shuffling. But before we do that, it's time for you know what. And I'm sorry if I'm breaking all sorts of rules with internet and the police and, you know, advertising or whatever. All right, here we go. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to go over here and say hi this way. Cheers, everyone. Tarot Illumination greets you. Thank you for being in my life. I love doing this stuff for people. I wish I could help more people, but it seems like we have a very, very, let's say, contained environment here. Some of you know that I wanted to be a world-famous pop star when I was a kid. It didn't quite happen. I had the chance to happen, but the contracts were really perverse. Very, very, very perverse. And so I never signed the contracts, and so I gave up a lot of money and a career. It still hurts today, and sometimes inside. I still have a grudge. I have a grudge from decades and decades ago about some of the ugly stuff that happened in my so-called music career. But I keep going. Why? Because I have the will to live. And I've had a really bizarre life since then, is from my perspective, now that I've had enough mileage. I'm pretty high mileage, and I think I'm going to be around for quite a while, but when I start to, you know, do comparisons, I realize that I'm kind of off on a tangent here compared to the way a lot of people live. Anyway, let's get back to the show. All right, Maria, we've got some backup beverages here. Okay, let's get some clarity. Maria, I know you're over here. Okay, this is the world. All right, here's the world. Maria is over here in Arkansas, in the heartland of America. Okay, right over here. Very rich land. Very, very, very rich land around there. All right, last minute shuffle. Here we go. So what kind of messages do we have here from Maria tonight? Let's make it very specific. Okay. Let's take advantage of all that green ink on the charts tonight. How can we optimize the situation? Make the best of it. Wow, cards are flying. Okay, it's just me. Don't worry about it. Don't pay any attention to that. It means I have to pay attention. All right, here we go. I'm going to break it up in a very extreme way so that we have what I consider a lot of clarity and an improved chance of clarity. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. I know some of you have been hanging out here for years. I only use a few spreads, okay? I use the Tarot Illumination situational spread. I use Tarot Illumination heart spread when we're doing personal readings and maybe a group reading. I also do the Tarot Illumination crucible spreads, and I do extensions. Okay, that's it. That's all I do because I've done thousands of readings and I realize that's all I need. Those are the only tools I need. They are highly versatile and very effective, and I don't want to dick around with anything else, so I don't. Let's have a look. Circumstantial energy, environmental influences, opportunities, whatever. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, Maria. Now, I'm sensing two sides to this Eight of Pentacles. One is futility, one is opportunity. I'm saying both because I feel I have to if I'm going to be honest with you. It's the energy of opportunity for you. Okay, like right now, just look at this like a little snapshot in time right now. Right now, Think of this as a little window, that expression, window of opportunity, where you have a chance to see the potential for you to tap into some kinds of improvements or increased abundance in your life that's actually worthwhile doing. Especially if it's something to do with things like career, money, finance, stability, real estate, investments, like the physical Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo aspects of life. Okay, that's what I'm sensing here. So, all of that is happening in a situation where it doesn't come by accident. It doesn't land in your lap. It comes from continuous, long-term commitment to value. How you define value, that's up to you, but also values and your value system, wealth, money, and finance. So, as you know, Maria, I have a strong interest in money myself. Even though I'm not an expert and I've had tremendous failure and losses throughout my life, I've learned a lot through failure. I've learned a tremendous amount about what does not work regarding money, okay? So we can talk about that another time. But with the Eight of Pentacles here, to me it feels like you're in a situation right now of opportunity. You might not realize it, but it's an opportunity that is hard-earned and well-deserved. So let's just put that on record, okay? And then we'll go to the reading itself. Remember, this is fleeting. I'm associating this very, very strongly with the chart for the day. Okay, let's actually do it this way. In a very, very loose way, we've got strong Virgo moon, strong Pluto in Capricorn, strong Uranus in Taurus. Earth, earth, earth. Physical reality, money, substance, homes, housing, savings, accounts, career, tasks, chores, work, all the earthy aspects of life, physical reality of life, are harmonious for you right now, in this moment. Think of it as a snapshot. Like you get a glimpse, you get a chance to glimpse, like, oh my God, there is hope. It's not hope like you're just going to win the lottery. It's more like hope that, like, wow, I didn't waste all of my time. I didn't waste all of my efforts. I didn't waste all of my talents. There was actually some meaning and purpose to my life. Wow. And you see it now. Okay, what's the situation itself? Okay, with the Five of Swords here, my feeling is that you're wrestling. You're kind of in a wrestling match or a wrestling situation with trying to prove yourself in a way that is futile. Like the more you try to prove yourself to other people, the more time and energy you're wasting. And if anyone or anything else is out there trying to persuade you to come around to their way of thinking and operating, they are wasting their time as well. This is the energy of futility, futile arguments, futile communications. Basically, it's the energy of like, I'm right, whether I'm right or wrong. I'm right because I know I'm right. And that can happen from the other side. You could be experiencing energy coming at you from other people who are utterly convinced that we know what is right for you, Maria. And we know that we're right. And if you can't handle that, then you're screwed or it's your loss or whatever. And of course, if you get sucked into that, if you start to take it personally, you can get sucked into an unwinnable war, an unwinnable argument, an unwinnable legal communications experience. So it's pointless, it's futile. So if by any chance you're in one of those situations right now where you're locked in to like a conflict of some kind, where you feel perhaps so offended, so affronted, so insulted, so demeaned, so unappreciated, so undermined that you react to it and basically say, you know, I'm going to come and... It's a huge waste of time and energy. You're actually wasting huge amounts of potential energy. So that could feel very, very frustrating. Like it's either coming at you or you're going to them or a person. And so it could be very frustrating. You could have been dealing with this for a long time, like trying to bring truth, honesty, facts and information into your life, in your world. And you already know the truth, but if it's not accepted or appreciated by others, what's the point? If some people, perception is reality to some people. Like, if there are some people who have a certain perception about you, your world, and it's not appropriate, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no point in fighting it. It's like trying to fight a war that you cannot win. And yet, it feels so horrible to be so insulted and so, let's say, disrespected and dishonored and ignored that you have a very strong natural desire to react. Now, reacting is very different from responding. To me, it feels like you're in a situation where you would love to get things straight, get things sorted out, get things lined up with what is honest and true and good. But it feels like almost the more you feel that, the more likely it is that it's not likely to happen, because okay, here, let me do it over here. Like, there's this whole thing that goes with belief systems. Like, if somebody or someone or something outside of you has certain attitudes, perceptions, and belief systems that are completely out of alignment with you, there's nothing you can do about it. You might be able to, in theory, prove that actually you have a point. You are right, and you do have rights, and so on. But if they don't believe in any of that, they're wasting your time. They're going to look at you like they're just going to come up with an alternative response like, you're insane. This and this and this and this and this is out of whack as far as we're concerned. And that's just how it is. And then from your perspective, it's like, oh, wait a minute. What about this, this, and this, and this, and this? But from their perspective, it's like, it's irrelevant, because we already know that it's irrelevant. You can't fight a situation like that. You can't win in a situation like that. It's the energy of futility. It's like trying to win an argument that you can't win. And vice versa. So, what's the problem here? Because this is very challenging. This could feel very frustrating for you. Okay, so with the Seven of Wands here, the challenge might feel like you are attracting so much conflict, so much combat, so much, let's say, unwarranted resistance that you are questioning your ability to survive and thrive and hold your ground and come out on the other side okay. It's understandable, okay? This is the energy of fear. Like, am I ever going to have a chance to prevail here? So, gosh, we're gonna just power on, okay? How are we gonna deal with this? You power on. Okay, this is again the theme tonight is the will to live. You power on anyway. Okay, so this is a very weird reading. Okay, Maria, it's very like contorted because it feels to me that you're in a situation where it's almost like you are being forced to tap into your own understanding, your own energy of the will to live. Now, here's where it gets really weird in this reading. The will to live, like the Eight of Wands, is a really powerful energy. How are you going to deal with your situation? Eight of Wands. You're just going to like power up. You're just going to magnify yourself. You're going to expand your energy. You're going to expand your desire to live, the will to live, to the point where you're essentially indestructible. Again, going back to the last reading, like, you can't kill me. You can't take me down. You take me down, I get up again. You're going to knock me down, push me to the floor, disrespect me, deny me, accuse me, ignore me. Doesn't matter. I get up again. Okay? The Eight of Wands is a very, very powerful card of like, I get up again. I'm going to put all my energy into that phenomenon, that process of the will to live. Okay? Now, when you go back to earlier in the reading, okay? So what I'm talking about here for you, Maria, is that you get to the point where you start to realize, wow, I am under so much pressure. I might be feeling so much conflict, and it might be just personal within you, where you have like this extreme vendetta going on between yourself and certain other people or situations. And you're wondering, am I ever going to have a chance to prevail? How on earth am I going to prevail against a completely unwinnable situation? And this is going to sound really weird in terms of readings, okay, Maria? You keep going anyway. You get to the point of, you can't kill me. You cannot take me down. You cannot destroy me. The more you try to destroy me, the more power I have. The more I realize it's more worth my while to tune into my own will to live. Now, here's where it's going to get really weird. Like, does that mean, Maria, that you decide, I am going to go back, I am going to fight them, and I am going to prove to them that I am in a good position, that I have a right to be who I am the way I am? So what I'm going to suggest here is, Maria, it's like, it could be to your advantage to just walk away completely, to the point where you basically tell them, it might look to everyone and everything else that you have decided to walk away. You might decide to walk away from an unwinnable situation. And it's like, what you're actually doing is removing yourself from conflict. Because by maintaining your, let's say, position in a state of conflict, you're basically asking to be continuously beaten up and pulped and pulverized. And it's an unwinnable situation. So what do? It's like you tap out. You basically come to a conclusion like, wow, you know what? This is a battle that is not even worth fighting for. It's not worth it. You people, you antagonists, all you folks over there who are not willing to respect me, honor me, live in truth, you know what? You're not even worth my time or energy anymore. It's not worth it. I'm going to devote all my time and my energy and my will to live by basically saying, you know what, fuck you. I don't care what you think about me anymore. It's actually more healthy and more of an opportunity to do a kind of a walk away. You know what? You know, in a combat situation, where you realize, like, what the fuck are we fighting for? And for you, Maria, you might be in that situation because have you ever looked what happens in a cockfight or a dog fight or any kind of fight between one person and another where it gets actually physical? And you get to the point where, like, it doesn't make sense. All they're doing is just pulverizing each other. And maybe, yeah, someone's going to win the fight or like, but what does that matter? What does that prove to anybody? To me, it looks like with the Eight of Wands here, the way to go forward is like, basically you get to a point where you're not, I don't play this game anymore. I don't do this. I don't fight fights that are not worth fighting. I don't fight wars that are not worth winning. I don't fight people who do not deserve my attention or my energy. It's not worth it. Bye. Goodbye. I'm going to direct all my energy in terms of the will to live to go forward. Now, it doesn't show that precisely in this reading, but that's what I'm sort of sensing deep down, is that the Eight of Wands is basically like, it doesn't matter anymore. This is a fight that is actually not even worth fighting. Like, you, my so-called perceived enemies, you're not even worth it anymore. You're not even worthy of being an enemy of mine. You are that pathetic. You are that low. You are that petty. I'm not going to waste my time or energy on you anymore. I'm going to devote all my energy to me so that I can take all of my willpower, my energy, my vitality, Eight of Wands, everything I've got, I'm going to devote that to me. Thank you very much. I'm not going to allow you to steal all of my lifeblood, my life energy, my vitality. Sorry. Goodbye. That's what I'm sensing, okay? I hope that helps you. Okay, Maria? Thank you very much. Up next, we have Melanie. Melanie McCall. Are you still here? Did you have to go to sleep early? I understand. I'm going to do your reading anyway, okay? Melanie, are you still here? I know sometimes it takes a long time to get to somebody's reading. I hope Gregory's still here. Oh man, my nose. All right, let's have a look. Melanie, if you're still here, if you want to put a couple notes in like, hey, Tarot Illumination, what kind of messages do you have for me tonight here regarding the subject of ... You can do that if you want. Also, Melanie, if you want a completely blind reading, you can do that too. So there's kind of two choices. Okay, I see you on the screen. It says Melanie McCall, I'm here. Got it. So if you have a theme or a one-word subject, type it in the screen, like love, relationship, family, houses, cars, whatever, blah, 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 whatever it is. If you can type in one word, condense it all to one word, fine. Otherwise, we'll go blind. And that's one word too. Okay? Look at the notes from Path Traveler. Gregory's still here. Okay, thanks, Gregory, for hanging in. Takes a lot of patience to hang out on this show to get your reading. Thank you so much, Gregory. Okay, I got to clear the deck. We're reading for Melanie McCall now tonight. We're all totally in the zone here. All of our energy fields are helping each other, okay? All right, here we go. Blind. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Lowercase blind. B-L-I-N-D. Blind. Lowercase. Thank you so much, Melanie. Let me just do a couple more shuffles here for you. Here we go. We're doing a super hyper extreme cut. Here we go. All right. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the influences, external, sacred geometry, all of that stuff that's out there around you that can influence you, but it's not necessarily you. Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords. Now, for you, Melanie, you might, first off, you might feel like you're in a bit of a bind, obviously. Okay. But it could be like a super, ultra, multi-layered bind, where part of it is like, how did I get myself into this bind? Number one. And number two, how did all these bindings come to me externally? Like, what's mine and what is not mine? And that makes it even more difficult to discern. Okay, so Melanie, let's have a look. With all this beautiful green abundance here, tonight, right now, again, fleeting hours. Remember, the moon is moving very quickly. Once the moon moves over here, we're going to lose a lot of these things. Once Mars moves over here and Venus over here, a lot of this green stuff is just going to disappear. And more things are going to happen. But for tonight, right now, what I'm sensing, just like what I said earlier, like these feelings of, like, I'm not saying entrapment, but almost entrapment. Okay, it's very, very, very vivid imagery here. And the entrapment might, hold on, give me a second. Thank you, Melanie, for understanding. So, with the Eight of Swords, what I'm sensing is that all around you, the pervasive energy around you is to do with constraints, energy of entrapment. But the really tricky part is that, have I set myself up for my own entrapments? Or are these entrapments external coming to me? From there, it gets even more tricky. I'm talking about the laws of attraction. In other words, there's you, Melanie. You're just you living your life. Right? There you are. All your commitments, responsibilities, obligations. All your personal treats that you deserve to yourself. All of your conditioning from childhood. All of your parameters for life, existence, and everything. Your whole freaking life. And there's this part of you like, wait a minute. Am I actually the one who's responsible for this feeling of entrapment, tying myself up in knots? Is it because I'm ignorant, unevolved, I haven't done enough homework on myself spiritually? I don't know. On the other hand, is it because I'm pure and innocent and I'm evolving and growing and I have attracted all these like psychological, mental, spiritual challenge to me that you would feel it very much in the mind, everything from the neck upwards, where like, wow, I am being challenged externally to the point where it feels like entrapment. So, like if you dig deeper into the reading, it's like, wow, am I consciously responsible for entrapping myself? Ooh, whoa. If so, what am I going to do about that? Am I consciously responsible for attracting external influences through the laws of attraction that make me feel as though I am trapped from external influences? Okay? Personal, internal, impersonal, external. Do you see where I'm getting at here, Melanie? Okay? I'm using my best abilities to describe this in English language because it's very hard to describe what I'm trying to describe. But there's two very, very different pictures here. Self-entrapment or entrapment by others through the laws of attraction. Either way, it's the self. It's still you at the core, the center of your life. But are you attracting that, or is it something that's coming out of you personally? And, okay, let's get back to the chart here so that you don't take this in a negative way. Let's look at this. For Melanie, this is a very short, brief window of opportunity for you to have a look at the message here that you would never normally be able to see in another day of the week, a month, or year, for your whole life. So this is like a moment of sacred opportunity, just like a fleeting moment of a few hours, a day or so, where you get to see this little message where you just happen to be at the Tarot Illumination show at this time, this night, where this is happening, where you get to see the deep hidden message here. Because otherwise, who's going to tell you this? Honestly, Melanie, who's going to tell you this stuff? Where are you going to get this? It's so like deep and profound in terms of how this relates to you that it's almost like you had to be here. You have to have this reading in order to get clarity for yourself. So I'm so honored. I'm so freaking honored to do this reading for you. I feel like intense. I don't know what the word is. Like I don't know how to say. I just feel incredibly honored to be here for you. Okay, Melanie? Trying to help you to understand and deal with your situation, because this is extremely hard to deal with, extremely hard to understand. And I'm just hoping that I can help. All right, let's have a look. What's the situation? All right. Number one, Melanie, whether you know it or not, you might be one of these people who just sort of is accidentally starting to tune in more and more and more to your psychic self. And the reason I'm saying that is because, like, what the hell are you doing on this channel anyway? Why are you even here? You know? Almost everyone who comes to this channel is ascended or highly ascended to the point where they're like necessary. She's a psychic medium. She does remote viewing. Okay? Love Triber does high precision card readings using casino cards, and so on and so on. Gregory Ross does his own readings on tarot. Everyone on this channel is already operating at these super high frequencies. And you've been coming here for a while, Melanie. And so you're one of us. I'm like you, you're like me. And these are the frequencies at which we operate. So when I see the High Priestess here for you, my feeling is that you're at a point in life where you're realizing that you are much more than you thought you were. And you're starting to realize, I am much more than I thought I am. And it's to do with your abilities and your natural psychic abilities to tune into, let's say, the intangible realms. Like, psychic readings, tarot, astrology, all of that. Conversations with your invisible friends, your spirit guides, all of that. And you're realizing, wow, there is a huge veil of mystery. Like, there's life in front of the veil, and there's life behind the veil. And my feeling is that it's becoming, this needs to be brought into full clarity, into full awareness. Like, whatever else you're doing in your life, Melanie, whatever it is, it's time for you to acknowledge that you are just exactly what you said on your, I see it on the chat. Okay, it says here, I am spiritually aware and highly intuitive. Yes. So I think this now needs to be acknowledged publicly and openly between yourself and the rest of us here, and yourself and the rest of your world, your life, your people, your home life, your family life, all of it, where it's time to make it very, very, very clear that you're one of us. You're one of those people. And this is just how it is. You have access to the great beyond. We're talking about, okay, I'm going to get really extreme here. Give me a second. Dear Melanie, this is probably nothing to do with reading, and I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it. But this book, you might have seen it before here on the show. To me, it's like a really important reference point. Barbara Ann Brennan, she was doing all this stuff in the 80s. You can go on YouTube and you can watch these crazy videos about healing hands and so on. But what Barbara Ann Brennan did is that she basically took this phenomenon of the healing power of love and healing through the energy field, in particular the hands. Remember, okay, Melanie, our hands are holy. Your hands are holy. I'm not saying you're going to be like a supreme, you're turning into an energy healer or anything like that. All I'm suggesting is that it needs to be acknowledged that this is the type of energy that we're talking about. Now, this book here is very handy because it talks about healing through the energy field. But it's the same energy field that's involved with remote viewing, with remote healing, with astrology readings, even tarot readings. We're talking about multi-dimensional energy that is above and beyond the traditional sensory systems of the human body. Illustrations here, I've shown these many times before on the channel. Okay, now these kind of imageries are very normal for me. I'm used to this stuff because this is kind of my world. And there's a lot of people who are into this stuff already. It's their world. It's how we perceive things in terms of health and so on. And how, here's an example. Here's an example of energy healing, okay? And you say here you've done Reiki, okay? Melanie, so this is a beautiful illustration of what happens in energy healing. Let's say either you, Melanie, you've either been a receiver of Reiki healing or you've been a giver of Reiki healing. Either way, it's the healing energy. But what happens with the Reiki healer is that they are actually just functioning as an instrument for the healing power of love to move through their body to the recipient. And the healing energy comes from loving spiritual entities out there who are operating at super, ultra, highly advanced, high frequencies that we cannot perceive here. We in our physical senses, with sight, sense, sound, hearing, smelling, touching, feeling, all of that. But there's so much more. So if you've never seen this before, what I would suggest, Melanie, before we even going on to the rest of the reading, if you're not aware of this stuff, please understand that this is one of the preeminent books on this subject. There's a whole bunch of other people who do this stuff or try to do this stuff. And Barbara Ann Brennan is wonderful. And she's done her best to try and move this into, make it common through human, society. But it's not working very well because the reality about this energy, it operates at such high frequency. I have to tell you that in my experience, it only happens according to divine intervention. So, Melanie, if you are at a point where you're realizing oh my gosh, wow, you're looking at your life, your hands, you're looking at yourself. Hold on, give me a second. You're living your life as Melanie McCall, and you're realizing that there is so much more. So much more it's more clearly defined in that particular book than anything I've ever seen. I've gone through hundreds of books to do with spiritual advancement and all that kind of stuff. I've gone through my own journey as well. But the beauty of that, if you want, you can go on Amazon. If you want to, Melanie, you can get that book for $8, $10, $20 or something, okay? Please. Okay, I see your notes there. It says, I haven't seen that book. I will remember to look at it. Please buy yourself a copy. You can do it on Amazon. Okay? Get yourself a copy of that book and read through it cover to cover. And then you will understand much more clearly what I'm dealing with on this channel. Okay? I'm not saying I'm a gifted energy healer. I can't just go and cure your cancer or whatever it is. But we're talking about those energy fields. It's the same energy field. You're talking about ESP, HSP, high sensory perception, like for necessary truth, remote viewing, remote healing, all of those things. Okay? So please do yourself a favor, Melanie. Get yourself a copy of that book and understand that you're one of those people. Okay? High Priestess energy. You may, whether you like it or know it not, in your own version of yourself, you have to understand that you are one of these people. You're one of us. Everyone here on this channel is like that. Okay? What's the problems here? Okay, so I've got the Two of Cups here. This is going to sound really weird as a reading. With the Two of Cups in this position, my feeling is that deep down, you wish you could have this storyline validated by having an actual loving experience where you are the recipient of the healing power of love. In other words, to prove this. In other words, we already know that you are ready, willing, and able and formatted to be a transceiver, Melanie female, a transceiver of the healing power of love. But what you would love deep down more than anything else is to be a receiver of the healing power of love in a way that is reciprocal to you in such a way that it validates you as a human being who happens to be one of these people who is HSP, ESP. Someone who is already one of these. In other words, wow, wouldn't it be so freaking cool to have someone in your life who reflects this back to you as proof? So you don't have to just believe it because Tarot Illumination says so. Okay, that is a very... I don't know if I can promise anything here, Melanie, but it feels to me like... I don't know if everybody or anyone gets this. It might happen in certain situations with certain people in random situations. I don't know if it's possible to have a relationship that is like a permanent validation where like, I'm one of you, you're one of me, and we're just going to go off and do this together. So it feels like you have inadvertently set the standards extremely high for yourself, Melanie, and you expect an extremely high degree of validation. And if or when that doesn't happen, you might feel extremely let down and frustrated and lost and confused. To me, it feels like extremes of Piscean energy that is not fulfilled, because wherever Pisces lives, wherever Neptune is in the chart, there's always disappointment, sadness, losses, betrayal, lies, deception. And so you might have a conflicted Neptune or something in your chart, and it would indicate like it would be so awesome to have like a divinely ordained relationship dynamic here on earth that proves and validates who you are and how you are and why you are. And yet if that doesn't happen, in other words, if that doesn't happen, then I can't be who I am. So that's a very tragic situation. Again, tragedy often associated with Neptune and Pisces. So this feels like a very delicate reading. How are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay, so with the Page of Swords here, my feeling is that it's about time we came to clarity and truth and understanding about these things. Now, I don't feel that this is going to happen in the context of this reading, okay? Melanie, in the context of this reading, to me this looks like an indication that it's time to call yourself out. It's time to call out the truth on yourself and your life, your relationships, and so on, to understand it from the spiritual perspective in a way that you might have not have looked at before, even though you're already intuitive and everything is like you're already spiritually aware and so on and so on. We're taking it to the next level. It's time, you're at a point where there's no point in deluding yourself that there's going to be some kind of divine intervention, some kind of divine relationship that is going to be sublimely, universally pure here on planet Earth, that is going to justify and validate who you are and how you are and why you are the way you are, by doing it through an earthly relationship. And instead, you have to cut through to some, let's say, very difficult truths, difficult facts, difficult perceptions that, you know, people come and go in your life. Loved ones, brothers, sisters, moms and dads, lovers, children, pets, all of that. They come and go. There will be moments of joy and moments of tragedy and sorrow. But in the end, you're still ending up with just you being Melanie McCall. And sometimes that's a really, really painful truth, like, oh my God, it's really just me. And a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people, Melanie, I don't want to scare you, but a lot of people are terrified by the concept that it's just you. Okay? You are you, living in this universe at this particular unique moment in time, having this reading with Tarot Illumination, where there's only one you, there's only one truth for you, and there's all the confusion of everything and anything that doesn't work, but there's also the beauty and sublime wonders of who you are and what you really can do, even if it can't be explained on Earth in this lifetime. Okay? So, with the Page of Swords, you're left with the situation, how do I go forward? It's almost like you have to declare it to yourself. This is going to sound really weird. I'm just going to do it. To me, this feels like a super ultra Piscean type of Neptune reading, where with the Page of Swords there, the way to go forward is just basically say, like, honestly, I don't really know all the answers all the time. I am Melanie McCall. I have what appears to be my life. I do this, this, and this, and this. I have that, and that, and that. I'm related to so, and so, and so, and so on. I have relationships here, theirs, whatever it is. Kids, children, moms, dads, uncles, nieces, nephews, pets, and everything. That is my physical reality. There's no pentacle cards here. The way to go forward is to understand that you can't, it's almost like a really tragic truth. You can't pin anything onto anything that you would want to be solid in this lifetime to confirm and validate your reality. Instead, the way to go forward is understand that everything is in a state of flux. Everything is a state of conflict. There's always wonders and opportunities. There's always tragedy. And it's all happening simultaneously. If you just look at the world around you, astronomical tragedy all over the world. And at the same time, if you find other avenues for information, there's incredible things happening that are absolutely beautiful and wonderful. It's just perception. Where are you looking? Remember, energy flows where attention goes. If you're focused over here and all you see is tragedy and loss and pain and suffering, confusion and delusion, switch your attention. Wow, there's these amazing things over here. Wow, I'm divinely blessed. Wow. So let me go back over here. So with the Page of Swords, the way to go forward, it feels to me, is that it's time for a truth telling in your life, in your world. You have to be kind of a whistleblower on yourself, where you look at your life, you look at your world, you realize there is so much chaos and confusion around me. It's indecipherable. It's so indecipherable, it's to the point where it's crippling, whether it's to do with the big virus and the big bug, or employment, or love, or relationships, or money, or anything. Chaos and confusion. But there's more. There's a whole other world happening around you and inside of you. Okay, we just talked about that. And yes, it would be very nice to have validation in terms of a very simple, pure relationship dynamic. And the nearest thing right now is just having this thing between you and me. You, Melanie, and me, TL. It's like, I feel like I can validate this. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not a husband or partner or a spouse or parent or anything like that. But you can trust that love does exist. But what does it look like on the bigger scale? So, process of elimination with the Page of Swords, you get to a point in life where, wow, I have to filter everything and understand that there's, like this energy here, Everything is in a constant change of flux. Think of the Neptune energy. Fog, mist, beauty, purity, art. Everything unfolding. Sometimes it's terrifying and chaos and tragic. Sometimes it's beautiful. And the best thing to do is admit that, and admit and understand that you're one of those people. And you live in that vortex. It would be nice to be validated by a significant other. But in the end, you have to be who you are. You have to learn how to be completely comfortable with your sovereign self. The High Priestess energy is completely and utterly comfortable with her sovereign self. It's like a goddess energy. She doesn't need validation from anyone or anything else. It's pure goddess energy. Whatever you need to know will come to you when you need to know it. Whatever you don't need to know will not appear. Okay? It's divinity. I hope that helps you, Melanie. To me, this looks like a really spiritual type of reading, which is all about helping you to get more clearly tuned in to the understanding of these types of energy fields where you're already very much in tune, but we have to take it to the next level. Okay? Thank you, Melanie. Gregory, you're up. Let's have a look here. All right, Mr. Ron. Okay, we're going to shuffle up, and we're going to move on. We're going to read for Mr. Ross now. Mr. Ross, if you have any notes for me, please type it in the screen. Thank you, everybody who's still here hanging out. Thank you, Mr. Ross, for all your patience to be here to this point. Melanie, you just pointed out something. It says you're a Scorpio. So obviously, you probably had a very intense period leading up to the eclipse a few days ago. Probably a couple of weeks or a couple of months building up to that Scorpio-Taurus eclipse, which was on, I think it was the 19th of November. That was like 10 days ago. All right. Mr. Ross, here we go. Let's have a look. So we're going to shuffle it all up. So let's get focused here. Let's get all the energy focused on where do we need to be here for Gregory. Okay? Let's have a look. I'm just going to shuffle it up. Keep it going. I need a little bit more, okay? Give me a second. Please be patient. I see your notes there, Melanie. I understand you. You know what? Give me a second, Gregory. Melanie, you can do an invocation, if you want to, like make it super simple. You know how I do this all the time, I have a very simple process by which I do things. Please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine. Do you see where I'm coming from? You could do that with a relationship. You trust that you are guided and you are protected. You tap into your high sensory perception. You tap into your invisible friends. You tap into your knowledge and awareness, understanding that you are divinely guided, divinely protected, and that there's a whole other realm out there that is there for you on your side as you choose. And all they want to do is help you, but it happens by invitation. If you take it all for granted, it kind of sucks up there. When you tune into these things deliberately and understand the true value of your invisible friends and everything that's out there, and you humbly ask and request, like a relationship regarding a certain person, having someone, please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine. Okay? Regarding a relationship. You can repeat that invocation exactly. The next thing you can do is to, humble the self. Okay? Humble the self completely and say, you know how I do it? I do it like this, whatever is mine comes to me. Whatever is not mine moves away. And then I humbly accept that. Sometimes it's very hard to do. That's the thing about humility. But you could say it this way, whoever is, who? Turn it into a person, you want to have somebody compatible with you. Whoever is mine comes to me. Whoever is not mine moves away. And you could go to the next level. Please bring to me whoever is mine. Please take away from me whoever is not mine. You see where I'm going here? Okay, you're already onto it. Thank you. All right, so let's move on. Thanks, Melanie. Good evening, Mr. Ross. Another thing about that little two of... Sorry, Greg. Melanie, another thing about that little Two of Cups in the middle of the reading there, sometimes for people who operate at your frequencies, where it's super ultra high extrasensory perception, high sensory perception being, HSP, high sensory perception, the more and more you go into that direction, the more and more lonely it can feel. Because you start to realize it's wow, climbing Mount Everest or something. And there's just not a lot of people there. And you start to look around, you're like, is anyone out there? And it would be so nice to have a mate, buddy, a partner at those frequencies. But they do exist. Thank you, Melanie. All right, Gregory, let's go for it. Let's have a look here. What's going on? Shuffled up. Cards are well shuffled. I'm going to keep going. I'll be happy to go blind for you. As you know, Gregory, we've done a lot of work together, public and private, and we keep going. Let's see, what kind of messages do we have here tonight for Gregory? Let's have a look here. Let's just see what's going on. All right, this is it. That's it. Cards are very well shuffled now. We're clear. We're good to go. If you have any notes, pop them in. I'm going to do a cut. As you can see, it's a very extreme cut. I'm doing this deliberately. I feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on the deck, on the cards, on the readings, on the show tonight. We said this earlier, but let's do it again. Let's bless this deck. Let's bless every single card. Let's bless the cameras, the technology, the lights, the lighting, all the softwares and the broadcasting softwares and the computer codes that they use to create these things. Let's bless the actual platforms, which are very powerful and complex. Let's bless the electricity and the cables, the connectors, the microphones, and all of that allow us to do what we do. Thank you very much. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the external influences. Again, as some of you know, I pretty much always defer to the astrological weather map of the moment. So we have here the Five of Wands. To me this feels excellent. So it's about the energy of really vital, fervent, satisfying engagement with, let's say, counterparty energy. Everyone and anyone who could theoretically appear or could be described or identified or called an enemy. But deep down, they're not. They're not really. Yes, there might be hostiles out there against you in this world. But in the end, if you look at this with the energy of super competitive expression, it's like you're in the right place at the right time for the right reasons with the right people. Okay, Gregory? Like whatever kind of challenges you might be experiencing from people outside of you, think of it as a test, like as a game, where all you are going to do is grow stronger. In fact, it's almost to the point where it is sport, where it's actually fun, where it's like really exciting, where it's just like, oh my gosh. Yes, we might have been living through years, months, weeks, days of challenges, but at this very, very moment in time, tonight, right now, with all this harmonious energy, you get a snapshot at your life in your world where you can see it as a very exciting, never-ending story, never-ending game, where you're pitting yourself against others and others are pitting themselves against you. And all that's happening is ultimately it's for your benefit. It's ultimately about how you get the chance to grow and evolve by stretching yourself, by expressing yourself against all odds. And in no way are you damaged. It's very much the energy of gamesmanship and sport. In other words, yeah, things might hurt. You might hurt a little bit. You might get bruised a little bit. But you're not going to end up in a freaking hospital with this. In fact, if anything, you're going to grow stronger. It's almost like It's almost like the energy of being grateful to the perceived combatants in your life, in your world around you. Like, oh yeah, fucking bring it on, man. Because you're only getting stronger. That's what's happening here. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? New starts, new beginnings. Oh my gosh, Gregory, we've got this new moon, Sagittarius, coming up, okay? It's an eclipse. So as you know with the eclipses, I do that storyline with the elevator. You come in, you go up here, and you go out there. You are eclipsed. Life as you knew it is over. Life as it starts going forward begins here. There's no going back. Life as we know it, eclipse, whoop, new starts and new beginnings, Sagittarius new moon, wherever that lies in your chart, new starts and new beginnings. It's very powerful energy of new starts and new beginnings for you. It's a chance for you to come almost like, basically, okay, hold on, let me do this. It's just almost like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Wipe this out, wipe that out, boff, biff, baff. and you get to a point of clarity, like, now I can do things. Now I can have a chance to see things, plan things. New starts, new beginnings. What's that going to look like? Well, an eclipse, of course, a new moon eclipse is a really powerful type of eclipse. So there might be an extremely vague idea of what new starts and new beginnings looks like for you. So with the Two of Wands, the situation is like, wow, oh my God, what is my life going forward? How is that going to look? How am I going to plan that? What are my steps? Like, I have to understand that, life as I knew it perhaps is more or less over, and life as I know it going forward is just going to start with the eclipse. Okay? So think of 2022. You might be winding up 2021. There might be a lot of bitterness, anger, resentment. There might be some success and whatever, but it looks like we're talking about new starts and new beginnings, time to forge new, I don't know, like a new plan, like a new lifestyle, like a whole new lifestyle package deal. That's what I would call it. I say the words lifestyle package deal because to me that's very meaningful. It's literally like a whole lifestyle package deal. Like everything is there. But you're still at the very early stages. And so what does that look like? It's too early to tell. But there is an awareness about new starts and new beginnings. And so when you have that, it's to me it looks like attitude of gratitude, appreciation, like, wow, I have a chance to completely recalibrate, restart my life and replan it with a whole new business model, a whole new lifestyle package deal. Chances are there's very little definition here at that point, but that doesn't matter. At least we're at the transition, okay? The eclipse. One lifestyle is over, a new lifestyle is beginning. Cheers. And what's the challenge here? So with the King of Pentacles, to me it feels like it's a self-perception thing. Like deep down, there is this perception and deep knowing that, wow, the King of Pentacles energy is very, very strong right now. Like, I have a chance to actually be in my own vortex, where I can actually radiate the energy of the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles energy is the energy of manifestation, extremely hard-earned and well-deserved through experience, labor, sweat, combat, patience, knowledge, wisdom, durability, resilience. All these things that translate into long-term wealth, legacy wealth, physical wealth here on planet Earth. And so, in this situation here, if you're in a state of transition, okay, from one lifestyle package deal to another lifestyle package deal, where the previous lifestyle package deal would be the absence of the King of Pentacles, and the new lifestyle package deal could indicate like, wow, maybe there's a chance to tap into the actual King of Pentacles energy. But because of a whole life experience of, frustration, pain, suffering, losses in that part of your life, the whole idea of actually, potentially, possibly being able to even remotely tune into your own natural King of Pentacles energy is so inconceivable that it turns into this terrifying fear like, oh my God, it's never going to happen. I already know that I'm already screwed. I already know I've done this, this, and this, and this, that, and that for lifetimes, and I already know that I'm doomed. I'll never ever have a chance to really be comfortable, wealthy, and the master of my own domain. I'm totally, utterly screwed. On the other hand, that's just fear. So look at the positive side of this. This is a beautiful energy when you look at it from the positive, okay? So how are we going to deal with this? Let's have a look. Going forward. Oh God, to me it feels like death to the old, birth to the new. Really, really brutal, raw, simple stuff. To me, this like the death card is like the energy of transformation. It's the number 13. Have you ever heard of the word tridecaphobia? Fear of the number 13. There are lots of buildings in New York City, skyscrapers, that have, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 stories, but some of them do not acknowledge the number 13. They have the 12th story and then they have the 14th story, but on the elevator they don't show the number 13. Totally weird. It's the fear of number 13. That's the fear of transformation. The deep, deep, deep-seated fear of transforming from this to this. So the way to go forward is the understanding that, like, in some ways you are your own worst enemy. And the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. And so how do you get around that? Wow, fear itself. Like, wow, I'm absolutely terrified of evolving because I already know from a lifetime of shit, of everything and anything that could go wrong, went wrong. I already know that if I project that to the future, I'm fucking doomed. So, on the other hand, that's just fear. Like, that's just conditioning, programming. On the other hand, if you allow for the energy of transformation, if you allow for the idea like, you know what? It's the end of me. It's the death of me. It's literally the death of me. The death of the old me and the birth of the new me. Literally, new starts and new beginnings. To me, this is a very blunt, kind of brutal, raw reading where, like it or not, you're going through this like turbulent vortex of new starts and new beginnings where the way to go forward is like complete, utter ruthlessness, savage ruthlessness. In other words, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. The past is over. Bring on the future. Bring it on. Like the last reading with Melanie. Please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine. That is transformation in essence. In other words, and it's also a humble acknowledgement. Whatever is mine is coming to me. Whatever is mine is moving away. Literally. It's like a complete obliteration. To me, honestly, Gregory, this looks to me like a complete obliteration of your concept of the past. And a complete reincarnation of what may come to you in the future, where you have a recalibration of what constitutes wealth and abundance. Like, you have a right to be wealthy and abundant in your own way somehow. And it's time. But for that to occur, it really requires like a deep down commitment to, look at it this way. For so much of our human lives, we are constantly cemented, married to experience our past or whatever. But life moves forward, like this. So what the death card is telling here is less like, It doesn't matter how much pain and suffering you've endured. It doesn't matter about all the stories, whether you're a hero, whether you're a victim. None of it matters anymore. The only thing that matters right now is new starts, new beginnings, where you have lived through all your trials, tribulations, and testings to get you to the point where you can actually live this new life. But to do it, it requires transformation. A transformation where you're going like extremely deep into the unknown, even though it's already laid out there in front of you. Transformation. Death of the old, birth of the new. And when you're talking about birth of the new, you're talking about Uranus in Taurus, okay? I know that you have a strong Scorpio presence. Uranus in Taurus is turning everything upside down, shaking it up, revolutionizing things, destabilizing everything in the world of significant relationships and oppositions, everything that's outside of you, that's not you. And so you get to the point where, like, going forward, the solution is to completely surrender yourself to the transformation that is happening, and put aside your personal fears, put aside personal losses, considerations and everything, and trust totally in the process of transformation. Think of the energy of the chrysalis, whatever it is. How does that work? Chrysalis. Caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly. Something like that. Caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly. You're coming out the other side. It's like new starts, new beginnings. It's a whole new version of Gregory Ross. Lifestyle package deal over. New lifestyle package deal beginning. That can only happen through deep, deep soul transformation by allowing those things to happen. You actually have to allow, okay? It's like you have to actually allow the transformation to occur. And because human beings are what we are, it's very difficult because we have egos where we are vested in our physical lives here now, our senses, our experience, our ego, on all of that stuff. But with the death card, it's like it doesn't even matter anymore. You just completely, utterly give up. Complete, utter surrender to the transformation. And like, if you have a million grudges, you wipe it clean. It's forgiven. Forgiven. You are forgiven. It doesn't matter anymore. You can't hurt me anymore. I forgive you for all the damage done. It's okay. I am moving on. I am not going to live my life burdened by the past, grudges, pain, suffering, history. None of that. It's all finished, okay? Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. Transformation. Death of the old, birth of the new. That's what this is all about. And it's very well earned. Very courageously earned. And there is great value that comes with that. I'm going to clear the deck for the next reading, whenever that is, tomorrow, or a private reading, or next week, or whenever that is. I just need to clear the deck right now. Thank you, Mr. Ross. It was a real pleasure to read for you. Thank you for being so supportive all these years. Thank you, everyone, tonight for hanging in. I know it's just a few of us. I love you all. Thanks so much. I just wish I had a way that we could connect in person. I can't do that right now. So let me go back here. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to make it a very abrupt ending to the show. Good night, everybody. It's been a pleasure to read for you. And we'll do this again another time, okay? Good night, everybody. I'm going to play a little bit of farewell sounds, okay? And we'll leave it at that. Okay?